Hello there. This could be quite a long video. The source material is a full 20 minutes. And with my propensity for verbosity, that meaning I can talk a load of rubbish, we could be here some time. Now this would have made a great live video, because we could have had all you lot in the comments, in the chat, chucking your tuppence worth in, commenting on what's going on, and it would have been a nice community deal. But I think we need about another 600 hours of viewing. We've had over 3,500, but we haven't quite hit whatever their arbitrary limit is. But once we can do lives, we will be doing lives, and this is the sort of thing that lends itself perfectly to that. But for the time being, you'll have to put up with me. But I think we're going to have a lot of fun here. It's basically a trap for cowboy locksmiths. They've set up a house with cameras. They've set up a very easy lock. I'll show you all that stuff anyway. And then they see what different locksmiths say. So without further ado, let's crack on.
It's a chilly night in late November, and a woman sits in the middle of an emergency.
I'm locked out of my place.
Help is on the way, she's told. But as we're about to find out,
Hey.
Sorry about the wait.
It's a little chilly.
there are no guarantees when you're picking a locksmith.
It's not, it goes to a different test.
The woman, in fact, is a marketplace producer.
I've got you sussed, mate. Seeing that she's only got like a little sludge pin cylinder, she should just go and get a bit of Coke bottle and and shim it, but you know.
And this house is a testing ground
Yeah.
that we've rigged up with hidden cameras.
Okay, well, I think those all look pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Our plan is to call locksmiths over the next few nights.
And you know, I'll tell you what, it's very dodgy. I feel for people who get ripped off by locksmiths. It's awful. And frequently old age pensioners.
John Seitz is with us. He's got 10 years experience as a locksmith, and we've hired him to help with our test.
I bet he couldn't believe he got this gig. I bet he thought, yep, I'll do it. Yeah, the biggest locksmith rip-off in this whole operation was when he said to them, yeah, $3,000, and because they're a television production company, they were like, yeah, no problem. He was like, sweet.
And I want to show you, we've got some cameras set up. Let's go inside.
Sounds good.
Together, we'll be in a back room,
If I just click here, we get a closer look.
Lovely.
watching for signs of shoddy service and much more. Like what happens to Dorothy Sterling.
He just couldn't get the lock to work.
She's
Must have been a master lock.
94 and needed the antique lock on her front door fixed.
And he kept trying and he just couldn't get it to work because he didn't know what to do.
Fair point. He didn't have the skills to pay the bills.
The locksmith is both inexperienced, she says, and threatening.
He told me he was going to remove the lock and leave me with nothing.
That's shocking. That just, pay up or I'm going to stitch you up. It's just so sad, so awful.
Now it's her carpenter, Titus, who's fixing the mess left behind.
Titus. Someone named their child Titus. Now, if they were a Roman god, that would be all right.
So as you can see here, he broke the door several places.
Titus feels bad because he's the one who found the locksmith.
So I called 3 different companies. And the
Clean your t-shirt, Titus.
one that responded to me first was Checkpoint.
Online, Checkpoint promises safety, trust, and peace of mind.
Now, I'll be honest with you, when I see a locksmith website that's really flash, it's got everything, it's got your value proposition, it's got your call to action, it's been set up and it costs a lot of money, I don't trust it because locksmiths aren't good at that sort of thing. When I see a terrible website, I reckon that geezer spent his time learning how to do his trade rather than con people with very good looking websites. Hashtag not all of the time, but most.
Customers, though, post reviews that use words like horrible, overpriced, and highway robbery.
He was so rude and unprofessional. Awful. It's awful.
As you can see, this is the lock which they install.
The Checkpoint locksmith can't fix Dorothy's old lock, and the new one he installs is poorly designed.
Look at that, $2.50 from Alibaba.
Every time you
You're
turn this, your
against
thumb
that.
would be knocking against this right here.
To top it off, Dorothy says she is charged twice what she's quoted, and by the end of the ordeal, pays $1,500.
$1,500, about 1,200 English. 1,200 English for that, for not getting the job done. You know, she's 94. Good Lord, cut her some slack. In Minecraft, I'd go round and smash his head open.
It was not a good experience for anybody, especially for.
No, and it's your home, and you know your home is important. You wanna walk in your home and feel safe. And you know, one of the things that locksmiths have to deal with, of course, is the fact they know where you live. That they've always got that over you. Now, you know, all the locksmiths I know, and I mean all of them, or I wouldn't know them. They're good people. They look after their customers. They try and help them. And that's why they're still locksmiths, because they've had word of mouth working for them for 10, 20, 30 years. But, you know, if you're a cowboy, cowboy is a bullshit word, excuse my French. If you're a criminal, you know, you're in a real position of power. I know where you live. And that's awful. Look, she's 94. There's some horrible bastards out there.
A woman alone.
Back at our test house, we're going to call Checkpoint.
So that's the housing.
But first, our expert John is
1,500 quid they done her for. $1,500.
So you're replacing the pins with ones that would be easier to pick?
Yes.
He says just about anyone will be able to pick this lock. Maybe even me. He gives me a few pointers.
And then you're just going to get the pins to move up and down, just like the key would, one at a time.
And in roughly 3.5 minutes,
Take it all out.
Take it all out because it is picked.
Uh-huh.
And then just with a flathead screwdriver, you finish the turn.
Now, I obviously can't say or not whether she picked that, but I get his point. He's probably just put all those key pins in the same length. You can stick a bit of metal in, essentially overlift, let them down, and they're on the shear line, and then you can just turn it. I mean, why would he lie? He's got no reason to lie.
That's it.
That's it.
we're in.
Is this a fair experiment, though?
Yes, it's obviously been made easier. I would call it a good test for beginners. So anyone claiming to be a locksmith, they should be able to get through it.
As day turns to night, we set our test in motion
Hi there, I hope you can help me. I'm locked out of my place.
with a call to Checkpoint.
Anyone calling themselves a locksmith should be able to get into a bloody $5 pin cylinder, let's be fair.
It's one of the cheapest quotes we find.
How much do you think it usually costs then? Like 15 plus 35?
Yes, ma'am. It could start at $50 total,
Okay.
or it could be up to $100 depending on the difficulty.
It's over an hour of waiting.
Shocking.
And then,
I think
Shocking.
that might be him. Are you the locksmith?
Sorry about the wait.
Are you your checkpoint?
Checkpoint, yeah.
Okay.
the one thing he makes clear quickly, there's no way to pick the lock.
These type of LSD locks, they have to be drilled out. You can't actually.
These, what did he say? LSDS locks? What? You can't pick them. No, you have to. No, I have to drill this and then install another lock. Yeah. You know that 50 quid I quoted on the phone? That's going up.
Actually pick them. They've got a staggered pin system: tall pin, short pin, tall pin.
No, not the staggered pin system. You know, tall pin, short pin. Oh my God! If that was my mum, I would. I'd show him my tall pin, short pin, tall pin, right on the top of his tall head, short head.
Short pin, so that it's designed so you can't pick it.
No.
That's just how they work.
Oh, really? That's incredible. Well, I mean, not even an attempt to be. I mean, I'm flummoxed by that. Tall pin, short pin, tall pin, short pin. Well, they did say. What did they say? That highway robbery. Dick Turpin, tall pin, Turpin, short pin, Turpin.
Not true, says our expert. Any locksmith seeing this lock should know it could easily be picked, but his only solution is to drill.
Does that mean it's more expensive?
Well, to drill it, it's medium price, so it's not $350, the most expensive drilling.
Wow! And I mean, I just don't know how you get the gall to talk to people like this. I just can't do it.
It's cheaper.
Okay. Because they said it was going to be like 35.
It's quite an incredible technique, actually. Is that going to be more expensive? And then he says, oh, well, it's not $350, it's cheaper. So she's actually getting it cheaper. But not cheaper from the $50 she was quoted.
Oh, well, locks. To open locks, usually if it's like mailbox lock, desk drawer locks, they start at about $35, $40. Like a house deadbolt would be around, this particular one is $250.
What an arsehole.
To drill it open.
Plus about $90 for a new lock. Our producer urges him again to try picking.
You sure you can't just pick it?
The LSD locks, you can't pick them.
You can't pick this?
No, they're 5 or 6 pin locks. I could be here for a year and not pick them.
No way, not a 5 or 6 pin lock. Wow.
A year?
That's what he said.
This geezer's earning an absolute fortune. He's only said 4 words so far. Fair play, though, fair play. He's not robbing anyone.
He said that you couldn't pick this lock.
Can you pick that lock?
I picked it in 3 minutes and 30 seconds with your help there.
Then I do remind you that I did not teach you very well.
Before he breaks...
He's a bit weird, isn't he? He's a bit of an oddball. Like all locksmiths. You know when you've got a criminal, a cowboy locksmith, because they're not weirdos. Sorry all my locksmith friends, but you know you're mental.
out the drill, we ask one more time.
Okay, and you don't think we can pick it?
That's the 4th time you've asked.
Yeah, because it's the 4th time you've lied. Tall pin, short pin, Dick Turpin.
Okay.
I'll show you what it's supposed to be like, just so you get a quick idea.
Please put that pick in and it open.
Okay.
He spends the next 2 minutes or so trying, but with no luck.
It's so much easier when you have a key.
Thank you for trying.
Locksmiths are supposed to ask for ID, proof we live here, right off the bat.
Yeah, he's just got her into someone else's house.
But this checkpoint technician is well into destroying our lock by the time he finally asks.
You turn the key this way, right?
Yes. Yes.
You do live here, right?
Yeah, I'm renting it, yeah.
You rent here?
I rent it, yeah.
Does the landlord know you're locked out?
I couldn't get a hold of her today. But it's okay, she'll be okay.
He doesn't fit.
Otherwise, it's illegal. But you know, I'm a criminal anyway, so who cares?
Finish the thought, but does finish the job.
You got it.
Including a new lock. Our expert, though, is not impressed.
What are you thinking right now?
That was everything I didn't want it to be.
Oh my God! She's dead. The lock is dead. I don't want to tell you, but the lock is dead.
A bigger surprise awaits when it's time to settle the bill.
Okay, so how much? I'm totally confused as the price.
Altogether $400.
Whoa! Whoa! I got a funny feeling that ain't gonna end there as well.
No.
With tax, 452.0.
No.
Oh my gosh, on the phone, $50. I think he even said less than that at one point. Look at that. It's gone up like 5 times. Oh, 8 times.
What? I mean, if I give you cash, can you do like 450?
400 plus tax, 452.
And with that, the call ends.
Bye.
All right, have a good night.
We contact Checkpoint. They admit their locksmith should have asked for ID, tried harder to pick the lock, and should have quoted a final price before starting the job. Checkpoint is now updating its procedures and agrees to compensate 94-year-old Dorothy.
This is your industry.
Little bit late.
Yeah, this is the worst part of my industry. This is the worst part. I'm glad you're taking a good look at it. I have heard all about it, but that was sad.
And in fairness, it was. This is sad, of course it is. I mean, there's a few laughs in here, but people don't deserve this. You know, we used to live in high trust societies where if a tradesman came to your house, you trusted them and you were right to. And people had communities and they looked after each other. And that's all gone. That's simply gone. And that's why we've got this now.
That was just really sad.
You almost look like you're taking it personally.
This is my livelihood that I just watched someone make a joke out
of. She wants him to cry. Go on, cry if you want. There's no shame in crying. Cry! Okay, what's next?
This is your marketplace.
Nice pinning tray he's got there, though.
Oh, hey, is this Locksmith Experts?
It's the second night of our test house, and we're on the phone with a company called Locksmith Experts.
I've locked myself out of my house. I can't find my keys.
The Better Business Bureau says Locksmith Experts has a pattern of complaints, mostly about overcharging. As one reviewer puts it, these people are not experts, they are thieves. The company...
Now, I've got to say something about the Better Business Bureau. Here's the thing, if you're a big company and you're dealing with thousands of call-outs as a locksmith, or thousands of sales as a retailer, or if you're a big business, you're going to have occasional mistakes, and people get funny about that. Now, the bigger your company, the more mistakes that are going to be made, because that's just, we're involving humans and computers. So, I'm not so impressed with a lot of these. The Better Business Bureau, Trustpilot, and there's a few others. And with Trustpilot, if you want to reply to the complaints, you've got to pay. So, the business thrives on getting bad reviews. And so, I'm not saying these people are lying. I'm just saying I'm not so sure about the places like the Better Business Bureau and Trustpilot and Review Byte or whatever the others are called. I felt that needed saying.
Admits it has a few unhappy customers, but says most are satisfied.
Basically, we charge $29 to come on site.
Yeah.
And whatever needs to be done on top of that. Yeah.
Oh.
That's the kicker, isn't it? It's $29 to get you in, and how we get you in is where we're going to make our money.
How much do you think that might be?
I don't know until I see the lock, is what he's going to say.
It starts at $45 an hour.
We heard a similar quote last night from a different locksmith, and it ends up costing $450. He said the lock was unpickable and insisted on destroying it to let us in. Our expert John is back with us. And once again, he's reset a brand new lock to make it easier to pick.
Okay.
This is night 2. What are you expecting?
I'm hoping for much better tonight. Just a straight call, honesty, an attempt to pick the lock.
Oh, there we go. Car's pulling in.
Hi, are you my locksmith? Hi. I'm okay.
He says his name is Serge, and the very next thing he says is the proper thing.
Do you have a piece of ID with you by any chance?
I do.
Good call. 1 out of 1. 1 out of 1.
We show Serge ID and a
There was that great story about that bloke who got locksmiths in to let him into a jewelry a jewelry shop in Hatton Garden. Good Lord, didn't ask for ID. There you go, mate. Nice one. They walked in and cleaned the place out.
rental agreement to prove we live here, and he immediately tries picking the lock.
If it is possible to pick this lock, it's going to cost $95.
Okay.
That's a fair price, I think. You know, that's fair enough, I think.
Is that like on top of the...
Yeah.
Okay. Like a service call sort of thing.
Job's a good un.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm not going to charge you $94.
There you go, good stuff.
You're not?
No, it's like 2 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You're smiling.
And there you go, that's what I was saying about things like the Better Business Bureau. You know, they obviously, this company's obviously quite big, they had some mistakes, but well, I might get proved wrong in a minute, but so far he just seems like a totally legit, decent locksmith.
Is that how it's supposed to be done?
That's how it's supposed to be done.
Unlike the many complaints we hear about locksmith experts, our experience with Serge is going well, until it's time to pay.
Oh no, don't do it to me, Serge.
Okay, how much can I give you?
It will be,
Okay.
do you know what you need to do with you?
Yeah?
You need us for 2, I can just do it for 80.
That seems fair enough. That's fair enough, isn't it? Or is that bribery? I don't know. I mean, I got an email this morning asking me if I'm having a monsoon here. I don't know if you can hear it. You probably can. Terrible monsoon timing. I got an email this morning asking me to review a company that I use, a bit of software I use, and they offered me 25 quid's worth of gift cards if I reviewed them positively. Well, actually, they didn't say positively, but I assume they would think I'd review it positively.
Oh, wow. Okay.
$80 and a Google review.
Thank you.
No, I think that's all right. He didn't say it has to be a positive review. He hasn't checked her review. Well, not that they've shown us.
Bye.
Problem is, it's against Google guidelines to offer incentives for a review.
Okay. Fair enough. Loads of people do it, though.
And when we tell locksmith experts, they say it shouldn't have happened.
There you go, fair enough. But it's weird though because he's staff, so you're in their management. Why would he say that? I mean, maybe it helps him if they mention his name.
Against their policy. But there are other things about this company that are raising questions.
Okay, fair point then.
Like for some reason, they show up when you call Port Credit Locksmith, or Brampton Locksmith, or Rouge Locksmith.
Well, welcome to the internet. I mean, this is standard. That's just how marketing works these days.
So we couldn't open the door, and the next day we had a big gathering here in the garden.
It's Birchmount Locksmith, when Tom Garrels calls them last summer.
I looked on Google Maps because I wanted to use somebody local that had a good reputation, and looked at 3 different ones, found this one called Birchmount Locksmith, which seemed to be right up the street from ours.
They quote Tom a price of $30 for the service call, $45 and up for the lock replacement. So what was your impression of this locksmith when they showed up?
The $45 and up now went to $100 just to open the door, and on top of that, $185.
Whoa!
Tom fights back,
Whoa.
gets a discount. But what he really doesn't like is the fact Birchmount Locksmith doesn't actually do the job.
It turned out he was working for a company out of Concord called Locksmith Experts.
Sure enough, the receipt says Locksmith Experts.
Well, this is an internet issue. This is an SEO issue. You know, this is how you promote your company in the modern world. You know, why are you going to have a website when you're just going to say, oh, we're in this area, when you can duplicate that website 20 times in 20 different areas? Is that illegal? No. Is it unethical? Yes.
So what happened to Birchmount? We invite Tom to go looking for answers just up the street.
There's 530 there.
Okay, so it's on this side of the street then.
Google Maps tells us Birchmount Locksmith should be right around here.
What's the number again?
572.
Okay, so this is a building at 570. So this should be 572.
There's nothing here.
Look at that. And I wouldn't be surprised whoever owns that land rents that address out to thousands of people for similar purposes.
It's just an empty lot.
Imagine though they suddenly stepped on a slightly hollow feeling door space and it went opened up and they went downstairs. And it was the biggest, most high-tech locksmithing operation you've ever seen, servicing the world via shuttles via Elon Musk's, what's it called? That stupid tube thing he's got. I can't remember what it's called. Ultra funnel. Leave it in the comments. 10 points to any legends who remember what it's called. But I doubt that's going to happen, so let's crack on.
There's no locksmith here.
Doesn't look like it.
Nope.
Why do you think they would pick this address?
It's a nice little walk in the middle of the community.
Well, I guess they just don't want to be found. Clearly, there's something scuzzy going on.
Scuzzy is a great choice of words. I haven't heard it for a while. No, they just want to appear local.
We ask Locksmith Experts to explain. They say they act as a subcontractor for many companies and did not create any fake listings. Back.
God, I miss snow. I miss snow. If you don't know, I live in Southeast Asia, and when I make these videos, I can't have the fan on because of the hum. And even though it's raining, it's a cool 34 degrees centigrade at the moment. Oh, a day in the snow, just to be cold for an hour. That would probably be enough though, and then I'll be back on the plane.
Back at our test house, we want to know how far the fakery goes in the locksmith industry.
Okay, so that one there, this is right near where we are.
So we try searching Google for a locksmith near me and find a company called Certified Locksmith Etobicoke.
Right there. You see, Certified Locksmith Etobicoke. So let's just pull it up.
It's supposed to be right in the neighborhood.
Oh, hey, I wonder if you can help me.
But when we call Certified and ask who exactly will be coming, things get confusing.
What's the name of the locksmith that shows up? What company do you...
This is FC Locksmith.
It's FC Locksmith.
FC Locksmith claims to be one of the best locksmith companies in Toronto.
Oh, I'm not sure this is. Oh, I think this is actually quite reassuring. I think they set up their house with all their hidden cameras, and I mean, you know, after about 10 minutes, they're already away from their house of cameras. And they're now just essentially complaining about modern internet marketing techniques, which, there are ethical issues there, but I think that's because they didn't find many locksmiths that come along and done them up. I'm not saying there aren't any. I know for sure there are. I've seen plenty of absolute catastrophes on people's doors. But it's kind of reassuring that they failed to find more than the one that they've shown so far. They've had one cowboy and one bloke who asked for a Google review.
And seems to have branches in Ottawa and Calgary. So why is FC coming up as certified on Google Maps? We decide that instead of a locksmith coming to us, we'll go to the locksmith.
Okay, so we're gonna go to certified locksmith Etobicoke. It says it's 6 minutes away.
Locksmith Etobicoke may be closed by the time you arrive.
Our GPS leads the way towards certified, or maybe FC locksmith. And in minutes,
There it is, 2975 Bloor Street West.
It's right there.
It's right there. And that does not look like a locksmith company. No.
In
It
fairness,
says right there, it says 2975 Bloor Street
that
West.
doesn't look like a locksmith.
Certified locksmith Etobicoke.
Parama is there.
Now, I do actually have an issue with that. I mean, that's just breaking the law. That's just outright lying. Do I have a problem with locksmiths working under subcontractors? No. Does that cause problems with reviews? Yes. Does that make what's the phrase? Word of mouth, the gold dust in the industry it's always been? Yes. And if you're watching this as someone who's worried about calling locksmiths, if you've ever had a friend use a locksmith and they got a good deal, get the number. Because word of mouth is still the best way to go with any tradesman, with any shop, with any service, in fact.
Which looks like a credit union, yeah.
the deception we discover doesn't end here. We find more than 20 fake locksmith locations around Toronto, saying they are linked to FC Locksmith, which makes us wonder about all these 5-star reviews we see on FC's Google business listing. When we dig deeper, we figure out most of them are fakes too. Dalton Fincher is actually American astronaut Clayton Anderson, seen here on the Space Shuttle Discovery.
Now, yeah, this is now just ridiculous. That's amazing. That is so lazy as well. Yeah, they've overstepped the line by quite a considerable amount here, I must admit. How many locksmiths watching this have ever had a call out? Hello? Yeah, my international space station, the door's locked, I'm on the outside. I've got about 30 minutes of oxygen left. How quickly can you get into the lower Earth orbit?
And Denver Cothran is actually Ian Rowland, a lawyer who happens to work just next door to us. So we head over to see if Ian Rowland knows his image is...
This man is called Donald Trump.
being used to promote FC Locksmith.
So this is the company here. You can see there's 57 reviews, and if I scroll down, there you are. That's your picture, right?
Denver.
Your name's Denver.
Denver. Interesting. Okay, I got locked out of my car the other day. They responded right away and solved the problem. The technician that came was a real life...
without wanting to sound like the actual nerd I am, there's a way you can check a lot of these review sites, by the way, using frequency theory. Go on to Google if you don't know what I'm talking about. Go into frequency theory in writing. They've even got frequency theory processors. I once caught out an ex-girlfriend pretending to be someone else using frequency theory. Basically, your vocabulary will be different to everyone else's vocabulary to an extent. There'll be words you use more than others, and so you can pop it into a frequency theory calculator, and it will tell you how many times you use this word, how many times you use this letter, blah, blah, blah. Frequency theory has actually been used in the court of law to prove cases either way as well. And I checked out a load of reviews on site once, and they all came back with pretty much the same frequency, telling me every review was written by the same person. Look into it, it's interesting stuff. Anyway, back to this.
Saver. I have no idea what that's about. I certainly didn't get locked out of my car.
That's not you.
That's not me. No, it is not me. It's just, well, the picture's me, nothing else is. And I have no idea how they got it.
There are a lot of fake reviews on this site.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a lawyer. It's appropriation of my image. I may have to pursue it. Thank you for that information.
That's an amazing, what an absolute touch. He turned out to be a lawyer. Incredible. Sue.
A 1-star review we managed to find on FC's Google listing comes with a twist of irony. A man named Colin tells people to not use this company. He says the locksmith mangled, scratched, and dinged his door.
Don't you dare come round here and ding my door. Can anyone help me with dinged? 25 points in the comments if you can tell me what dinged is.
In response, FC calls it a fake review and says it's just one of our competitors. But we tracked down Colin, who doesn't want to come on camera, and both he and his review are real. FC denies allegations of fake reviews or locations. It says all those positive reviews could have been posted by anyone, and they're checking with their marketing company about any fake locations.
Come on, get someone back round to the house.
Is your marketplace. We're mapping out deception in the locksmith industry.
So you're at your house, you're locked out.
Yep.
You want something that's nearby. You call something that looks 10 minutes away, like 10 minutes away tops.
A local locksmith.
A local locksmith.
And what you actually get is a grocery store, not the locksmith company that you have called.
Yeah, but in
Each
fairness,
of these red dots represents
in fairness, you can buy a 2-litre bottle of Coke and shim that lock from. I'm sorry.
supposed locksmith company in the Toronto area. But after months of digging, we discover none of them are real locksmith locations.
That is, I have to say, that is quite incredible, because that isn't just 2 or 3. This is a full-blown campaign. Look, and if you're a local locksmith, that's going to affect your business significantly, because people want local, especially with locksmiths, because I want to get in. I've got my kids here. It's raining. It's bedtime. I've got to get up for work. So the locality of your business is relevant. And so, 2 or 3 are probably, welcome to the modern world. But that looks like about 30 there. Shocking, really.
Here's what they really are: drugstores and retail stores, parking lots and gas stations, strip malls and banks.
Well, I mean, if you are locked out, you've pretty much got everything you need there for a good night out. Come on, take it seriously. Let's go.
It makes us wonder, how much can you really trust Google Maps searches? Mike Blumenthal is a search engine consultant. He helps businesses get exposure through local Google searches.
In locksmiths, in appliance repair, in moving and garage door opening, any home service business, you see a massive amount of fake listings at the present.
What's the harm in that?
Well, the harm is severalfold. One is legitimate businesses can't compete. The other is it's very deceptive to the consumer. A lot of times these businesses that are willing to cheat on their listings are also willing to cheat on their reviews, willing to cheat on who they send out to repair.
Yeah, and they're the 2 main points. It's not fair on the competition, and if you whiff a bit of deception over here, you're probably going to get a bit over here, over there, and it'll, if you're happy to deceive at one end of the spectrum, why aren't you going to deceive all the way through the spectrum?
They could be sending people into your home that are not either qualified to be there or shouldn't be there because of background issues.
But doesn't Google have rules against fake listings?
They have a lot of rules against fake listings, but they don't enforce the rules.
We tell Google and the locksmith companies about all the fake listings we've uncovered, and now all of them have been taken down. Google says because of our investigation, they're auditing all locksmith listings across Canada. But Mike says it will take more than investigations like ours to solve the bigger problem.
It's gone beyond trusting Google as a business to fix these issues. After watching this for 11 years, the only solution is a political one. There needs to be rules at the regulatory level with serious consequences, financial and perhaps even criminal consequences to both the businesses that create fake listings and deceive people, as well as to Google.
And he's absolutely right, because, you know, the whole social proof is, people rely on social proof. You know, you can hire people on Fiverr to make your Amazon reviews look great, and, you know, that's all fake, and people rely on it. My bottom line is, don't trust the internet. and I don't think most people do. Word of mouth. And if you have a good experience with a locksmith, and when he gives you his card, keep that card, take a photo of it, excuse me, take a photo of his card so you've got it on your phone, and share it with friends and family, because you'll be looking after them and you'll be supporting a legit tradesman. I hope you enjoyed that. Have a good day. Give us a like, subscribe, do the funky gibbon. Ta-da!